Hello silly bakers, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Nini and I love to create healthier recipes. Today we're making something very chocolatey, very rich and almost very decadent. We're making cottage cheese brownies. You wouldn't even believe that there's cottage cheese in this recipe. They're so good. They're so good. I actually think I'm going to start making brownies this way moving forward. They're very simple to make. We're replacing the butter with cottage cheese. We're using good quality chocolate and we're melting it. We're using good quality cocoa and we're also using almond flour for the recipe. You can actually substitute the almond flour for oat flour if that's what you prefer. It's not very much of it, it's only 3/4 of a cup. And I am going to toast the almond flour for the recipe. I have been doing that recently in a lot of my recipes. And I really, truly believe that it is really bringing out the flavor of the almond flour in the recipe. So I highly recommend it. And I will teach you how to do that throughout the recipe. So this recipe comes together very quickly. You're actually blending all of the wet ingredients first, and then you're adding it to your dry ingredients, and that's it. One little secret ingredient that I'm adding is a touch of espresso powder, instant espresso powder. You don't have to go out and buy espresso powder to make this, honestly. Instant coffee, if you have instant coffee and not espresso, that will work too. But if you love chocolate desserts, it's always nice to have instant coffee in the house. Because it does really bring out the chocolate flavor especially when you're melting chocolate. So I really highly recommend it. Let's take a few minutes and learn how to make these really incredible, rich and decadent and high protein cottage cheese brownies. You want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. First thing, we're going to grease and line an 8x8 baking pan. Next, we're going to add some parchment paper to a baking sheet and we are going to toast our almond flour. We are using 3/4 of a cup of almond flour and we're going to spread it out on the parchment in an even layer so it toasts evenly. We're going to bake for 7 to 8 minutes at 350. Once it's out of the oven, we are going to let this cool completely. Let's go through the ingredients. This is 3/4 of a cup of cottage cheese, 2 eggs, room temperature. This is a 1/4 cup of chocolate chips that we're going to melt. This is 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. And we are using 1 teaspoon of espresso powder, instant espresso, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and 1/2 cup of raw cane sugar. This is 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So we are going to blend our cottage cheese and our eggs, as well as our vanilla, until it's nice and smooth. So I've melted my chocolate and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of instant espresso powder. It will not taste like there's coffee in there, just brings out the chocolate flavor. We're going to add the cooled chocolate to the cottage cheese and egg mixture, and then we are going to mix that and blend that for a few seconds. Just take a minute and scrape down the sides and the bottom. In a large bowl, we're going to add our toasted almond flour, our cocoa powder, our sugar. You can also use a sugar replacement here, and our baking powder and salt. And just give everything a good mix. The whisking also helps remove some of the lumps in that almond flour and in the cocoa powder. We're then going to add our cottage cheese mixture to the dry ingredients. Make sure that you scrape out all of the liquid. And we're just going to mix that until it's just combined. This batter is a little looser, I would say, than a typical brownie batter. We're going to pour that into our 8x8 pan and This is optional. You could add a couple of tablespoons of chocolate chips on top. We're gonna bake 350 for about 20 to 23 minutes. After about 22 minutes, enjoy our cottage cheese, almond flour brownies. They are so rich and chocolatey and delicious. So good. I'm just gonna take that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and to subscribe to our channel for more healthy recipes. If you do try these cottage cheese brownies, let me know in the comments below. Also, the ingredients and measurements to this recipe and all of my recipes are in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching and happy baking.